Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, once again, I've been just changing the order of everything as far as usually I like to try to group things together, but I keep finding something else, and it's like, oh, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about that. You know, do you see what's going on out there? It's crazy.
It is.
You know, it's like I feel like the guy in Network. Let's open up the windows. You guys remember that movie? And he sticks his head out the window and he says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking it anymore.
I love that. Was great. Yes.
Well, I mean, I feel like sticking my head out there and just saying to, unfortunately, the majority of the world, and probably, I don't know, at least 70% of the population, what are you thinking? I mean, can't you see? Can't you see? Marshall Tucker had a song I used to like back in the day. Saw them in Cape Cod back in '76, I want to say. Can't you see? Well, the song was What That Woman's Been Doing to Me. But we can make up another one and say, can't you see what the CCP has been doing to me?
Whoa, I hope we don't get in trouble for saying those vocabulary words.
Well, that's why I was trying to do it in kind of a strange accent there. Maybe they wouldn't be able to understand what I'm saying.
Right, hopefully the YT Popo won't get you for that.
Yeah, somebody made a comment about accent saying, where are you from? You know, where's the accent from? Well, I don't know. Actually, born in New England, but spent a lot of time in the South and some in the West as well. So I guess it's just from anywhere and nowhere. Arsonists responsible for devastating fires in Greece and in Italy and in Turkey. And when we talked about California where they arrested an arsonist too, we've been talking about those 4 locations and the fires that are going on there for several days. You know, still ongoing. And look it's arsonists. Arsonists. Now, we've been talking about artificial flavoring. Well, there you go. You know, some people just want to set the world on fire, and not in a good way.
Right.
So when you look at this, it's interesting. You know, you really got to look into, you know, who are these people? What are they going to tell us about these people? Are they just crazy people? Has something gone wrong with their medulla oblongata?
I think so. I'm pretty darn sure.
Are they just being hit with certain frequencies? You know, MKULTRA, sort of?
Something like that.
Are they on a payroll? Greece faced a total of 154 fires throughout the country on Friday, 98 of those being new within 24 hours. 64 fires still burning. And, you know, some of these amazing places, you know, just gorgeous, gorgeous areas. The island of Crete and areas that you got some historical spots that are really priceless. And there's so many of those just all over. As we look at the sheep gathering together, bunching together. And, you know, it's sad. We've seen so much death when it comes to animals, livestock, crops, etc., etc. So when we see this, there's arson being investigated all over the place. Arson. And, you know, again, somebody was arrested for California, very, very close to the Dixie Fire where it began. Arsonists behind more than half of Italy's wildfires. And how many of those other ones spurred off from these? Who's really behind all this? Is this just all crazy people? Is it people, you know, there's a new word out there. You take accident and you put the letter for V, oops, I said it, for victory in front of it. A lot of people are using that word.
Yeah, it seems to me that people might actually be more controllable, you know, if they do that thing.
Interesting. 6 people hospitalized after lightning strike at Orchard Beach in Bronx. And then a boy, unfortunately, later passed on. This is super sad. They said this vicious storm cell blasted through, quote unquote, seemingly out of nowhere. Seemingly out of nowhere. Is it an act of God? Is God mad at us?
Of course, because that's what it says in the book we've been given about our everything.
What do you mean? Are you talking about Enlil, or are you talking about Marduk? Are you talking about Enki? Nengashita, Nenhersag? Which one are we talking about here?
Yeah, that is a mystery when you put it like that. Which one? Which god?
Yes. Many beings have claimed to be God, and they're not. There is a source. There's a source of everything. So, I'm not even going to read this because I'm afraid to read this, But this says everything. Everything. The head of who? Origin Probe admits that those three letters, C period, C period, P period, told him what to write. That says everything. And, just to share what we got, Cindy was she wasn't in a trance channeling, but she was getting messages from the guides. And just again, for anybody that's new and listening, maybe for first, second, third, 10th time, Cindy is a very, very unusual being in that she is, I believe, she's one of the best channelers on the planet. We have actually gotten from some sources, that there's only like 5 or 6 people that can do what she can do right now on this planet. And, she could channel both in trance, which sometimes happens spontaneously, sometimes in the middle of the night, but she could also channel without going into a deep trance. And so we do have connections with, again, the Galactic Federation, which is real. It's very real. And, in the years to come, and it probably won't be too long, before it's even acknowledged by the governments of the world, although they might portray people to be from the Galactic Federation that are not going to be. We're already giving you a spoiler alert there, guys. That's part of the bigger plans that are in effect. And, how do we know this? Well, because we've done a lot of work as far as meditation. And it's just been a lifelong thing for me. And it's also past life work. And it's also, going and seeing that past life work again through meditation and, other practices that do help it, such as Qigong, yoga, and the like. And so a lot of what we get, and we, again, we have many friends that are constantly saying, you got to check this out, you got to check that out. We don't watch anybody else's channeling. We have watched a couple over the years, and one because something felt off, and then listening to it, we were kind of remote viewing it and finding, this is a disinfo. This is actually coming from a deep underground military base, this particular channeling of a channel that has about 500,000 subscribers. And it's part of a psyop, as there are many, many psyops out there. And so what Cindy was getting really was that there's a battle that's already happened and is already over, so to speak. At least a stage is over. And everything that we're seeing now is setting things up for the party, and that's a good play on words, that has come out on top at this particular stage and junction. Again, the control and controllers of the globe that are in control right now know they got about a decade, maybe. And, that's about it. They're not going to be able to hold it long term. And people are waking up, and it's inevitable. Many, many people can see right through everything right now and see it clearly. And so let's check out some of the Earth changes, and we're going to get back into some of the other geopolitical stuff. High-level eruption at Fukutoku, Oka no Ba. Think of this. This is a submarine underwater volcano. The ash went 54,000 feet in the air. This is big. This is an island maker here. Major eruption started at Japanese submarine volcano. 2120 UTC on the 12th continued into the 13th. Volcanic ash rising up to 54,000 feet above sea level, heading south-southwest towards the Philippines. That is huge, huge, huge. But, you know, Edgar Cayce did talk about there being so many new lands. And actually, if you go back to Mother Shipton's prophecies, you know, she said that basically whole continents would be mostly gone, but there would be new continents completely fresh and revitalized that come up. And those are going to be the ones that we're going to repopulate.
And it's, you know, Mother Earth's way of recycling, renewing, detoxing, all that good stuff.
Yes, most definitely. So, you know, there actually have been some pretty good sized eruptions here. 2, you know, VEI 3s, 3 VEI 2s, and actually, you know, some islands formed back in 1904, and then again, another island formed in 1986. That's kind of exciting. What's happening over there in the South Sandwich Islands is exciting as well. You know, what the Earth is happening off of South Georgia's South Sandwich Islands, more than 15 big ones, 3 major 7.0s in 12 hours, 7.0 plus, remember that 7.5. Some people swear it had to be an 8 or bigger. Sign of the incoming pole shift. From what we got, you still got 10 to 15 years, probably more towards, we're figuring more like around 2044, 2045, which is in line with Diehold Foundation. We're kind of in agreement with that. The guides are pointing to that time frame, so that's a long ways off. And that's again why we feel it's more important to watch the geopolitical situation right now to be where you want to be, because you might not be able to, you know, leave your state soon, maybe not even leave your house soon, the way things are going, without having something, you know, show me your papers.
Right.
So, yeah, this is an insane swarm map. And if we take a peek at it right now, you can see all that. A lot of activity going on there. That's a pretty massive swarm for the area. And again, quite a few, 6.0 and bigger. And 900,000 homes plus without power across Michigan and the greater area over there. 2 rounds, severe thunderstorms hit Michigan from Tuesday to Thursday. Strong winds, heavy rains brought by the storms decimated the power supply network, leaving more than 900,000 homes and businesses without power. Winds over 70 miles per hour. This was ranked in the top 10 storms in this power company's history. Interesting times to say the least. Storms coming out of nowhere. And massive floods ongoing. Deadly floods hit Hubei, 774 reservoirs exceeding flood warnings. This is in China. And it's just devastating. So again, you know, artificially flavored weather, WARS is going on. You know, lots of harps playing. Not too many angels doing it, though.
No, not at all.
I think we see some horns.
I think so.
Record-breaking rains hit Nagasaki Prefecture in Japan as well. Extremely heavy rains, 28.5 inches. That's pretty damn extreme. And over here we see Metastorm Falchion forms in the Black Sea. Heavy rains and floods over in this area as well. And by the way, we have Japanese cities suffering coldest summer temperature in 128 years of records. Not-to-lucent clouds persist into August as the atmosphere continues to cool, and yet the mainstream, we see Noah saying July was the hottest month ever, period, ever. We're melting, just like the Wicked Witch of the West.
I think, or was it the nice one of the East? I don't remember. It's one of those ones.
I don't know. Wasn't Glinda the Good Witch of the East?
Maybe.
I forget. You guys know. I'm sure you guys know. And adding to all the craziness in the world, China's port shutdown raises fear of closures worldwide. Yeah, when you have the second and third biggest ports having issues, the whole world has issues. And, it's just one thing on top of another when it comes to moving goods, moving foods, the destruction of croplands, and, the whole plague upon the land that's really causing so much of all this havoc, craziness, this symphony of destruction that Dave Mustaine wrote so many years ago. Must have been thinking about this time.
Well, it's very disturbing. I mean, and when you take stuff in and look at the big picture, what we have going on, it's no fun. And that's why we always talk about a spiritual practice, because we're living in these times.
Well, the plague upon the land has partially shut down one of the world's busiest container ports, and that's heightening concerns that the rapid spread of the D variant will lead to a repeat of last year's shipping nightmares. Just what we need, right? Port of Los Angeles saw its volumes dip because of a June, outbreak, and there was just ships sitting there off of LA just at anchor for long periods of time, waiting to come in, just sitting. All too perfect symphony that we see here. It's just crazy. It's craziness. So, these shutdowns, they're raising fears that ports around the world will soon face the same kind of outbreaks that they had there, and that restrictions are going to slow the flow of everything from perishable food, watch it go bad, be dumped to somewhere, to electronics. And, we saw that whole chip fiasco as well. Things that make you go, And leaked audio. Department of Homeland Security Secretary warns U.S. may lose southern border crisis amid influx of migrant encounters. Don't worry, everything's under control. Trader Joe is in charge.
He's got this.
Gosh, that was so funny. It was one of the comments.
Yeah, it's cute.
And they were talking about Trader Joe. Or was it well, with a T. Not that place where you go to get some organic food. Well, it's still available. So U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas announced on Thursday that border authorities have encountered an unprecedented number of migrants at the country's southern border. Trojan horse. That's what the guide said. They said that years ago. Trojan horse. Yeah, how many of these people crossing the border are of MILITARY age? Interestingly enough, officials logged over 212,000 migrant encounters for July, 13% uptick from June. While visiting Texas earlier this week, Mayorkas warned U.S. border agents that it appears that the JB administration may lose at the southern border as an unsustainable amount of migrants attempt to illegally cross into the state. A couple of days ago, I was down in Mexico, and I said, if our borders are the first line of defense, we're going to lose. This is unsustainable. Again, according to a leak. What does that really say there? Meanwhile, they're burning documents, top secret stuff, because here comes the Taliban ready to take over the capital in Kabul. They've taken over already the second biggest city, and now they're heading to the capital. And of course, they've had their meetings with C period, P period already. By the way, JB, the other JB, sporting a little interesting fashion accessory over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of rumors about that skiing accident.
Oh, and of course they're true.
Yeah. No, maybe it was surfing. They were in Hawaii. She
Mhm.
was probably out surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. More Democratic voters favor socialism than capitalism in a major shift. As the divide between left and right becomes bigger than the Grand Canyon, Democrats have grown considerably more accepting of socialism since the coronavirus pandemic began. 59% Democratic voters hold a favorable opinion of socialism compared to 49% who said the same of capitalism. 44% Democrats hold an unfavorable view of capitalism compared to 31% who view socialism negatively. Interesting. Among Republicans, the difference in ideology was stark. Some 67% of GOP said they held a favorable opinion of capitalism, and only 8% viewed socialism in a positive light. Think about that. 8% of Republicans view socialism in a positive light. 59% of Democrats do. You're not saving this marriage. This marriage can't be saved.
Mm-mm.
That's what do they call them? Irreconcilable differences.
Irreconcilable differences. Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you just got to agree to disagree, shake hands, or maybe whatever, and say good luck.
Au revoir.
Yes. Hasta la vista. Passenger and military plane pilots report bright green UFOs swooping through the clouds over Canada. Yes, several sightings. Interesting times. Tons of things up in the sky. And I gotta love this one. Snopes suspends co-founder for mass plagiarism, and the staff has revolted. Last time Snopes co-founder, and people actually, how do people ever believe anything that comes out of Snopes? I mean, if you do a little research into them, that's like the last people we would trust.
Mm-hmm.
The last. So co-founder David Mickelson made headlines last time. He allegedly embezzled $98,000, dropped weight, left his health-challenged co-founder wife, and married somebody that they're calling a certain name that begins with a W. 5 years later, he's just been suspended by Snopes after BuzzFeed uncovered massive plagiarism, including instructing other Snopes writers just cut and paste all day long, mainstream breaking news stories without attribution, and then altering them after the fact. We're supposed to trust them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, I would trust Snopes less than I would trust the majority of the politicians out there, which is not saying anything.
Yeah, no.
That's not saying anything. There's very few politicians that are trustworthy. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even you could count them on one hand and subtract a few fingers for sure.
Kind of makes one speechless,
It does. This is a fact-checking company that really seem to go along with all the official sources constantly, as if they were on a payroll. Great American dog shortage. Well, here is some good news.
Yay!
There are so few dogs now being put down compared to before, which is great. There's a lot of shelters like the one that I got Zeke at. That's a no-kill shelter. And I got Zeke over 6 years ago when he was 3. So he's getting there. He's closing in on 10 probably. And he's been a great boy. He's been a best friend for a long time. Now I got Cindy, so they're co-best friends, and Sassy, so they're all three are.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's wonderful. But yeah, it's a good thing. The U.S. is actually importing over 1 million dogs a year. The demand for dogs is about 8 million a year. So this is really good news. There's actually people waiting for dogs to go to shelters so they could actually get a dog. Because dogs are man's best friend. Well, some people argue cats. And, I like cats too, although I'm a little bit more of a dog person, definitely. Had many, many dogs. And, I just feel like the loyalty, the love, it's just a beautiful thing.
I'm a horse person, but I love the dogs too.
She is a horse person. She is, through and through. This girl's got issues, but hey, she grew up in Idaho with horses.
Well, the beautiful thing about horses is they're such great trainers for humans.
I think we could learn a lot from the animals.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to, love. Just pure love and appreciation. So thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys there. Also on Ko-Fi as well. And on Ko-Fi, again, you could do a one-time donation to support the channel or monthly as well. And we've had so many people ordering from Medicinal Foods, which is wonderful because it does also support the channel. And it brings you something that is good for you, as well as supporting people that are trying to support ascension and all the things that we're trying to do as well. So they're part of our EEA family. Good people, good products, very enjoyable. Oh yes, there you go with the lovers bars.
Gotta get a case of those soon.
CBD in those. Shaman's blend, macadamia nut,
yes,
sea
gotta
salt.
Get a case of those too.
Okay. Well, we better get going. She's getting hungry. Thank you guys. As always, stay prepared. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.